Greetings, fellow artists, and welcome. My goal is to help you avoid the mistakes I've already made, and to save money while you're doing it. Well, let's get on it. Today we're going to make this cute little cold porcelain rose. The directions for making cold porcelain are below in the description. And yes, you're going to do this. You can do this. It's easy. Here's a hard one. I made it with a natural branch and magnolias. This was a hard one. This was a natural log on which I put an orchid. Is it hard? Is it sturdy? Yes. This whole thing fell off the shelf, the pot broke, and the roses were fine. It really dries very hard. Now here we go. First we're going to condition the clay. I like to use this coconut oil. Put a little glop of coconut oil in there and mush it around. Not a lot, just a little. And then I suddenly realized, oh, I want to color this clay. Might as well mush in the color. I'm going to make a light pink rose. Remember, the colors dry darker than they appear as you're working. Oh, mushy, 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 mushy. We're going to mush this rose. We're going to make a color. That was acrylic. You could use oil. You could make it any color you want. You could make it sky blue pink. And you could make it any size you want. This just happens to be an example. I call that mini kneading. Mushy, mushy, mushy. Let's see how we're going to make a log because we need petals of an equal size. So this is just how I do it, rather than measure it or anything like that. That's about half of that, and that's about half of that. There we go. Well, we need more than 4 petals for a rose, so we're going to make more logs and keep on dividing it. Because the petals are about the same size. And I think we're going to end up with, I don't even know at this point, a number of little possible petals. Mushy, that's okay now. There they are, and they're starting to dry already. Depends on your relative humidity, but we're going to put these in a airtight bag while they're waiting to be worked on. These rose centers I made, they're on a fluorescent wire, kind of teardrop shaped. We're just going to wrap our rose around this thing. Very hard, I let it dry overnight. And we're going to need a little petal clay. Here we go, and that's too big, I'm thinking. So I'm going to divide that in half, which is why I think I ended up with 16 petals. You need like 12 to 24 maybe petals. A little bit of cornstarch on my silicone baking mat. Here are the taped wires that I use. And here are the ballers. They're not very expensive and you will come to love them. Alright, here's how you use the baller. We got a little teardrop shaped pink thing. And we're just going to spread it out. And thin it. You know, a flower is very thin on the edges of its petals. You can never get it quite that thin, but you can get it pretty thin. And I'm just going to thin it, thin it, thin it, especially the very edges. There's a little junk on there. That's a hazard of the trade. Okay, here we go. And you notice that the baller's making little frilly things. You don't even have to do that. The baller will do that. The first one. Make a little glue, just a little sheen of glue on your center. The clay itself is rather sticky, but this is really going to hold it. And this is your first petal. You're going to try to put it so that it's a little bit above and in the center, just like that. So you're a little careful at the first 3 will set the tone for the whole rose. So you can be a little careful here. We're wrapping it around. We've got a little excess, as it turns out, at the bottom, which is easily disposed of. So slide it down, throw it away. I'm going to work on this a little bit. This is our very first petal. We're going to cover the center completely by the time we're done with the second petal. And it's a little knobbly irregular, and that's okay. Go look at a rose. It is knobbly and irregular, which is definitely part of its beauty. We're not in China, punching out a bunch of plastic petals that are exactly the same. Here we go. Second petal. Make a little teardroppy thing. Squish it. And thin it out with the roller, just like the first one. And of course, it will not be just like the first one. It'll be slightly different. And that's okay. In fact, it's desirable. And then we want the edges quite thin, we think. We've got a little chunk on our baller. We're going to rub it up. And thin, thin, thin. Okay, now, the second one, you're going to put it on the petal, about 3/4. Obviously not very heavy, you probably can hardly see it. Now, the trick is, same height as the other one. And you're going to cover the last seam. Covering the last seam. Roly, roly. Is that the same height? Covering the last seam? Not bad. Pretty good. Be careful with that. Your rose can get very misshapen by the time you're done. Otherwise, make sure we covered up all the rose center. And that's a little strange, and that's going to be fine. Alright, I'm going to set him aside. We're going to do another one. We're going to do a lot of other ones. Same process, though. I'm going to lengthen it and broaden it and make the edges very thin. So the first one we covered entirely. The second one we put glue on 3/4. And all the rest of them, I'll show you how the glue goes. Along the bottom, you're just going to draw a little smiley do, as if this was a smiley, just along the edges and the bottom. And then we're going to take our little thing we got here. Remember, same height, and cover the last seam. Yes, I have to be a little careful right here. But this is kind of like the only place I have to be careful. And there we go. Third petal. All the rest are going to be like that. Now, we've already got a little rosebud. Maybe you just want little rosebuds. That'd be a pretty little rosebud. But we're not going to do that. We're going to keep on adding petals. Because most of you will want a fatter, more open rose. Ooh, that's a little sticky. That's not good. Sometimes it needs a little bit of cornstarch dusted on there. If it's sticky, yeah, a little cornstarch, let's see. I don't know why this one's wetter. Little cornstarch on there. Now, don't worry about the powder. We're going to remove the powdery appearance later. That is not a problem at all. Okay, here goes another one. Remember, a little smiley at the bottom, a little smiley along the bottom like that. Take our thing, same height, covering the last seam. Let's see here. There we go. It's getting fatter. Now you can tweak around on the edges like that because the rose is very curly-wurly. Smiley. Same height as all the others. Cover the last seam. See how it's coming? See where it's heading? And there's not going to be a whole bunch more like that. It's going to open, open, open. And here we are, we're done. We're done, it's still flexible, and it's going to dry exactly as you left it. And so I stick it in a little thing in the shelf and prop it up with toilet paper because gravity never sleeps and these little petals could like fall down. It's still flexible. Leave it until it's really pretty dry. Well, in fact, leave it till it's dry. There we go, there's our rose. We're going to now remove the excess dust I put on there. This is just a little pink wash I'm using. You could get rubbing alcohol and do this. Has the advantage of drying very fast. And we're going to remove it, and it just turns out to be no problem whatsoever. Sometimes people like to diddle them up with some powdered colors. This is just a cheap eyeshadow thing. You can mix all kind of colors and just have fun with it. Now, at the end I would seal this with some hairspray and then maybe some spray varnish if you want to, so the powder doesn't just fall off as time goes on. There's our rose, but it looks a little naked. He needs a calyx with green thing on the bottom of the rose. Not the first thing you notice, but it definitely is there. So, calyx, we're going to need a little ball, and we need some tendrils. Tendrils, okay. How little of a ball? I don't know, I'm guessing. Guessed just exactly right. I would have done it a little different. Next time, it was a learning experience. Now we need 3 logs, kind of like this. They're like what, 1.5 inches, 2 inches, and little logs. Okay, 3 of them. Not hard. Little ball, 3 little logs. You can always lengthen your logs like this. Press in the middle and go out toward the edge. It gets longer and longer. Just the principle of design right there. Three logs, so let's go. Make another one. This is not hard. This is like why there are so many snakes, because God found it easy to use the leftover clay. Alright, we've got 3. Do a little samurai sword cross thing. And then put one right up the middle. That's kind of like a starfish. And then you're going to take your ball, you're going to thin and elongate these tendrils. Goes rather easy. You might get sticky junk on there like this. And we're just going to clean it off. These don't have to be perfect. The tendrils actually on a rose are very twisted and blah, you know. So they don't need to be perfect. But they need to be about 6 of them. Now you can cut them, make them raggedy, make them shorter, or twist them when you get really good at this. And I'm making them very simply right here. Just longer and thinner. There we go. And now we got an elongated starfish. It's a starfish. Well, what are we going to do? We're going to put a little glue on him. Put glue right in the middle. And a little glue halfway up the legs. You notice I forgot one leg. I'll pay for that later. And I'm going to put the little ball thing right in the middle there. Oh no, we got a pot-bellied starfish. What are we going to do with the pot-bellied starfish? We're going to stab him right in the middle of his pot belly. And let him come on down. And get on here. Now we're going to thin these and glue these down. Remember, we put a little glue on there. We're going to cover up the works, I call it. The works is where anybody might see a little hole there where you have all your works. We want to hide those because we want to look like a rose. Here, we're just going to use the baller, and it's irregular and a little raggedy, just like nature is a little irregular and raggedy. Look at the coastline. It's not drawn with a compass, is it? Why isn't that sticking? Remember, I forgot to put glue in there. Well, a slight oversight. We'll fix that. And just make it so it looks acceptable. Acceptable, the works are covered, okie dokie. Alright, we got that. Now we've got the rose with some little tentacle things. And then they turn down at the end. They're opening and turning down toward the earth. Okay. Turn down. I would probably fuss with this and make it a little more realistic. But there you go. There's a rose. And you can do what you want with it now. See, you could do it. You did it. There you. Was this helpful? Please like, share, and comment. Thanks. And remember, it's not a screw-up. It's a learning experience. And have a great week.